You know, there's a power, a deep well of energy just lying dormant inside you. You're saving it, right? Saving it for some big moment down the road. But what if that moment never comes? Today, we're talking about how to stop saving it and start unleashing it.
And I want you to be brutally honest with yourself here. I'm not asking if you're giving a lot or more than yesterday. I mean, are you truly giving everything? Because the truth is, most of us, we're not. And listen, that's not a judgment. It's just an observation about how fundamentally we misunderstand what we're actually capable of.
To really get this, let me tell you a story about Chip Wilson. Yeah, the guy who founded Lululemon, back when he was a competitive swimmer. Now, the standard strategy for a 100-meter race, which is 4 lengths of the pool, was always to pace yourself. You conserve your energy, and then you just go all out on that final lap. Sound familiar? Hold back, save your best for last. We do this all the time.
But then, right before a huge meet, his dad calls him up with this completely wild, totally counterintuitive piece of advice. He said, forget the strategy. Forget saving anything. I want you to treat that very first lap like it's the only lap. Just one single, all-out sprint. See what happens. So Chip, who by his own admission was a pretty average swimmer back then, thinks, what the heck? And decides to listen. The starting gun goes off, and he just explodes from the blocks. He swims that first 25 meters like his life depends on it, saving absolutely nothing. And the result of this crazy experiment?
He didn't just win, he smashed the Canadian record by 7 or 8 seconds. Now, you have to understand, in swimming, that's an eternity. That's not a small improvement, that's a quantum leap. And think about it, the pool didn't get any shorter. The race didn't change. The only thing that changed was his decision to stop saving his best for a later that might never come.
And that story just perfectly nails the problem, doesn't it? Our default setting as human beings is to conserve, to hold back, to protect our energy just in case we need it later. But later is a myth. The race ends, the project is due, the day is over, and we cross the finish line with a full tank of gas, wondering why we never went faster.
So if holding back is the core problem, what's the solution? Well, it all starts with something I call radical authenticity. It's about stopping the constant, exhausting calculation of how people are going to perceive you, and just being.
Let me give you an example. Think about a guy we'll just call John. You've probably met someone like him. He's loud, he's maybe a little controversial, he definitely rubs some people the wrong way. Not everyone is a fan of John, but he is unbelievably good at what he does, maybe even the best. And why? It's because he is 1000% unapologetically himself. He's completely unfiltered.
And this brings every single one of us to a really crucial choice. It's a crossroads. Are you going to offer a watered-down 50% version of yourself just so you can be acceptable to the majority? Or are you going to present all of yourself, the whole package, and connect on a deep, real level with the right minority? You know, the people who actually get you, who value you, who belong in your world.
So listen, here's the bottom line. Your job on this planet is not to be liked by everyone. Your job is to figure out who you are at your core, your unique, authentic self, and then give as much of that to the world as you possibly can. Because that, right there, is where your true power is hiding.
Okay, this brings us to the next critical piece of the puzzle. To really unlock that potential, it's often not about what you add to your life. It's about what you take away. This is the central idea behind essentialism. It's the art of subtraction. You know, we think that feeling stuck or confused or chaotic comes from not having the right things in our life. But far more often, it comes from having an abundance of the wrong things. The answers you're searching for, they're probably already there. They're just buried under a mountain of stuff that simply doesn't need to be.
So how do we actually do this? Well, it boils down to a pretty simple 3-step process. First, you have to ask the golden question. What truly, deeply matters to me? You have to get radically clear on your core mission. Second, you identify everything, and I mean everything, that isn't actively serving that mission. These are the excess tasks, the worries, the obligations. And third, and this is the hard part, You have to find the discipline to cut it away. Be ruthless.
Now, being authentic and having a laser focus is amazing, but it's not enough. Your potential is like a car with a full tank of gas and a powerful engine, but it's still sitting in the garage. You need a spark to turn the key. That spark is courage.
See, courage isn't just not being afraid. It's so much more than that. It's a force of nature. It's that one bold action, that first step you take into the unknown, that sends out a signal, a vibration. It tells the world, it tells the universe, I'm serious about this. And when you commit like that, something amazing happens. Life seems to conspire to help you, to arm you with the tools and people you need for the journey ahead. All those brilliant ideas you have, those huge goals, that incredible potential we've been talking about, it's completely silent as long as it stays locked up inside you. It's like a song that's never sung. You have to find the courage to let it out, to put it into the world. That single act is what starts the ripple effect that carries you forward.
So, I'm going to ask you directly, what is that one thing you know deep down you need to do? That one step you could take, not next month, not next week, but right now, today, to start that vibration. I promise you, everyone listening knows exactly what it is for them. The only real question left is, will you do it?
And this all leads us to the final idea, the one that really ties everything together. The path to unlocking who you're meant to be. Well, it's often completely counterintuitive. It requires you to lean into something we call the growth paradox. Here's how the paradox works. The things we desire most in life are almost always found on the other side of their polar opposite. You want true freedom? The only path is through intense daily discipline. You're searching for a deep sense of purpose? It's almost always forged in the fires of suffering. You want order and clarity? You have to be willing to walk through chaos first. You want to grow? You have to embrace uncertainty. When you get this, it reframes everything. Your lowest moments, your biggest challenges, the times of absolute chaos, they aren't signs that you're on the wrong path. They're the raw material of your own evolution. These aren't obstacles to be avoided. They are the essential launching pads that are going to propel you to places you can't even imagine.
This is the ultimate truth. Your greatest strength, your most profound wisdom, your deepest character. It will not come in spite of your hardships. It will come directly because of them. The entire human experience is this beautiful paradoxical dance. And when you finally understand that, you stop fighting the process and you start using it.
And so, we end right back where we started, with a question. Knowing what you now know, that your potential is just waiting, that your authenticity is your superpower, and that a single act of courage is the key that turns the engine, what kind of energy are you going to send out into the world? What will your vibration be?
You know, there's a real danger in moving too fast. We get so focused on some big, brilliant finale that we completely miss the miracle of what's happening right now. It's so easy to get caught on this treadmill, right? Chasing this idea that someday you'll finally be good enough. But what if that someday is just an illusion? What if in our race to the future, we've totally lost sight of the person we are today? And this quote, this is where it gets real for anyone with ambition. The very drive that pushes you to be better often comes with this little voice that whispers, you're not good enough yet. And if we don't learn to separate those two things, we just end up running in place, chasing a carrot that's always just out of reach, and we're completely blind to the incredible value we're creating every single day. So let's reframe this. Maybe the problem isn't that you're not making progress. Maybe the problem is one of perception. Maybe you're just so focused on the dragons up ahead that you literally can't see the field of dragons you've already slayed behind you. This isn't just about a little pep talk. This is about fundamentally recalibrating the way you see yourself and your own journey. Think of it like this. Your impact, your real value, it all materializes in your wake. As you're stepping toward that distant horizon, you're creating these massive ripples. But here's the catch. You're the only one who can't see them. You're too busy looking forward, and that is the blind spot we are going to fix. So how do we fix it? How do we see what's in that blind spot? Well, we start by understanding the rules of the game that's being played inside our own heads. So let's dive into the rules of perception. The brilliant psychologist Daniel Kahneman once said, "Nothing in life is as important as you think it is while you are thinking about it." This is what he called the focusing illusion. The idea is really simple. Whatever we focus on expands and becomes massively important in our minds. He pointed to this fascinating study with college students. Get this, when they were asked about their happiness and then about their dating lives, there was no connection. But when he flipped the order and asked about their dating lives first, their answer about their overall happiness suddenly became a mirror of how they felt about their love life. Just by focusing on it, that one single thing became the yardstick for everything else. But here's the thing. This bias, this illusion, it's actually an incredible opportunity. If just thinking about something can change its importance, well, we can learn to wield that power on purpose. This isn't about ignoring reality. Not at all. It's about making a conscious choice. In any given moment, you can either focus on what's holding you back, or you can find that one thing that can propel you forward. Your focus literally becomes your superpower. Now, this idea of focused, compounding effort brings us to something called the lily pad principle. Picture a pond where the lily pads double every single day. On day 30, the pond is completely covered. Okay, so riddle me this. On what day was the pond half covered? Your gut might say day 15, right? But the answer is actually day 29. And it was only a quarter covered on day 28. And that, right there, is the entire game. For those first 27 days, all that work, all that doubling, all that growth, resulted in less than a quarter of the pond being covered. The progress was practically invisible. And then, all of a sudden, boom, the payoff becomes exponential. Real success, the kind that lasts, is about having the guts to endure days 1 through 27 when it feels like nothing is happening, trusting the process long enough to hit day 28, 29, and 30. But here's the thing, enduring those 27 days of quiet, grinding effort, it requires a very specific mindset. It forces you to make a fundamental choice. As Leo Tolstoy wrote, everyone thinks of changing the world, but no one thinks of changing himself. This is the choice that we all face every single day. Are we the victim in our story, or are we the hero? Let's just break these two down. The victim mentality, it's all about outsourcing responsibility. Yeah, it's a short-term shield. I mean, if the world is to blame, you don't have to do the hard work of changing yourself. But that comfort leads to long-term powerlessness. The hero mentality, on the other hand, is all about agency. It's not about blame, it's about responsibility. It's accepting that, hey, you might not control your circumstances, but you are 100% responsible for your response. You take the wheel. And that personal agency, it is, without a doubt, our superpower. So to choose the victim role is to willingly walk away from that power, day after day. When you blame other people, you are literally in the passenger seat of your own life. But the second you take ownership of the good, the bad, all of it, you put yourself back in the driver's seat, and you can finally steer toward a new destination. Look, at the end of the day, self-pity is a trap. It just leaves you stuck watching someone else's story unfold from the sidelines. But your story is waiting. It needs a protagonist. It is time to step into that role, because there is way too much on the line for you to be a background character in your own life. So, you've made the choice. You're gonna be the hero. So how do you walk that path? Well, it starts by letting go of this need for a perfect map and learning to step into the unknown. I once heard this line in a song. It said, "Ain't life beautiful and strange?" And it stuck with me because we so often treat strange, the uncertain, the uncomfortable, the unconventional, as some kind of problem we need to solve. But the most meaningful parts of life, they're beautiful because they're strange. Think about it. Falling in love or that spark of a creative breakthrough, they don't follow some neat, predictable script. Embracing this chaos, it's not a flaw in the plan, it is the whole point. Nietzsche just captured this perfectly. To the outside world, the path you're on might look absolutely insane because they can't hear the music that you're dancing to. Every meaningful creation, every unique life, it starts as an idea that sounds a little crazy to everyone else. So feeling confused isn't a sign that you're lost. It's a sign that you're on a path no one has walked for you. So how do you actually take that first step into the unknown? Well, you can't just sit around and wait for a crisis to force your hand. The most effective people I know, they do two things. First, they create their own urgency. Second, they manufacture their own momentum. They don't wait for the fire to be lit for them. They light the match themselves. They just decide that waiting is no longer an option. And when that path gets hard, and believe me, it will, I want you to remember this. I was recently finishing this absolutely brutal workout, totally ready to collapse on the floor, and my trainer walked over, and instead of coddling me, he just looked at me and said, "Stand up, walk it off." The first principle is that simple, but it is not easy. Stand tall. Now his point was about so much more than just physical endurance. It was about how you move through adversity. Which brings us to the second principle. Compose yourself. There's a real physiological response here. When you physically stand tall and compose your posture, you send a signal to your brain that says, "I am in control." It's not just about surviving the challenge. It's about showing yourself you can handle it with grace. And that leads to the final piece of instruction. Act like you've been there before. Now, this isn't about being arrogant. It's an internal posture of quiet confidence. It's embodying the knowledge that you are strong enough to endure whatever comes next. The goal isn't to never fall, it's to get back up, stand tall, and walk it off like it's what you were built to do all along. So where does all this leave us? It leaves us with the tools to change our perception and the choice to own our story. Look, excellence is going to exist in this world with or without you. The only question is whether you're going to be a part of it. The world is yours, it has always been yours. Stop running from that fact and start owning it. The only question left is the one right in front of you. What will you do now?